Officially known as the 1986 World Exposition on Transportation and Communication, Expo 86 was a major turning point in Vancouver's evolution from a regional port city to the world-class city it is today. Held from May 2nd to October 13th, 1986, the fair celebrated the theme World in Motion, World in Touch, showcasing technological innovations and advancements on an international stage. With the participation from over 50 countries and millions of visitors, Expo 86 left an enduring legacy, reshaping Vancouver's infrastructure, economy, and international reputation. Plans for an exposition in Vancouver began in the late 70s as a way to celebrate Vancouver's upcoming centennial year in 1986. The proposal was submitted in June 1979 for a fair that was to be called Transpo 86. In 1980, the British Columbia legislature passed the Transpo 86 Corporation Act, paving the way for the fair. The transportation theme reflected the city's role in connecting Canada by rail, its status as a major port and transportation hub, and the role of transportation in communications. Originally, the World's Fair was to be held on the grounds of the Pacific National Exhibition. The P&E was to receive a facelift, new modern pavilions, and a monorail to the downtown core. During this time, Vancouver was negotiating to buy back land on the north shore of False Creek from the Canadian Pacific Railroad. A century of heavy industry turned the area into an eyesore, but the south side of False Creek had successfully been developed into housing communities, parks, and a public market during the City Beautiful movement of the 1970s. The same type of urban renewal project was proposed for the North Shore, along with the 60,000-seat covered stadium. When the P&E grounds were deemed too small for the World's Fair, the Transpo 86 organizers set their sights on False Creek. The area was an ideal setting near the downtown core and close to the proposed rapid transit route. Incorporating the rapid transit system into the World's Fair plan was thought to be a convenient way to garner extra funding from the federal government for both projects. Vancouver City Council wasn't receptive to the False Creek plan. They were looking north to the area around Cole Harbour that was next door to tourist destinations and the hub of the city. The harbour was also the area where City Council thought legacy structures could best be used afterwards. The television show Love Boat filmed a season premiere episode on location in Vancouver, complete with scenes of the old dilapidated Ballantine Pier, where cruise ships docked at the time. The TV episode shown around the world was not entirely flattering to Vancouver, so in the City Council's eyes, a World's Fair had to bring in some permanent structures that would beautify the city. The wish list included a large convention center, a waterfront park and fountain, and a new cruise ship terminal. But the problem with the inner harbor was land availability. In order to host a fair in the area, extensive landfill projects or a compromise on the size of the fair were in order. In 1980, the Bureau of International Expositions unanimously voted in favor of Transpo 86 and suggested that the False Creek site was the best alternative of all the proposals. Although the Canada Pavilion would be built on the Burrard Inlet in the planned convention center and cruise terminal at the old Pier B and C. The name Transpo 86 was changed to Expo 86 to give the fair a universal appeal. Local billionaire business tycoon Jim Pattison was appointed as CEO and would eventually also become the president of the corporation. Construction started in October 1983 when Queen Elizabeth II started a concrete mixer on the future site of Canada Pavilion and offered the invitation to the world. The fair was originally budgeted for $78 million. However, final expenditures for the expanded event totaled $802 million. To pay for this, funding came from provincial and federal governments as well as sponsorship deals. Deals were struck with many corporate giants such as Coca-Cola, General Motors, Minolta, Kodak, CN, CP, RBC, and McDonald's, which altogether injected millions of dollars into the fair. Kodak sponsored the nightly fireworks display and the venue for the RCMP musical ride. Minolta sponsored the space drop, and General Motors' Spirit Lodge was one of the most popular attractions at the fair. In exchange, sponsors were granted exclusive rights at Expo. Only Kodak film could be found on site, and if you craved a burger at Expo 86, better be a Big Mac or Quarter Pounder, found at one of the 5 McDonald's restaurants on site, including the McBarge, one of only 2 floating McDonald's in the world. Prince Charles and Princess Diana officially opened Expo 86 on May 2, 1986. With 54 nations, 12 provinces and states, 14 corporate or specialized pavilions, and the largest gathering of entertainment Vancouver had ever seen, the party began. Expo's participants were given the opportunity to design their own pavilions or opt for the less expensive Expo module. Each module was approximately 2.5 stories high and had the floor space equivalent to a third of a city block. The design was such that any number of square modules could be placed together in a variety of shapes. The roof design allowed the interior space to be an open floor plan uninterrupted by pillars. After the fair, these modular buildings were sold and repurposed mainly as warehouses and can be found throughout Greater Vancouver to this day. Other Expo 86 landmark items repurposed in other locations include the world's tallest flagpole, which was moved to a car dealership in Surrey, and the world's largest hockey stick was moved to North Cowichan. The Expo benches, with their distinct look, can be found throughout the Lower Mainland, including the White Rock Promenade, while the Scream Machine was sold to Six Flags St. Louis and renamed Ninja. The McBarge, after numerous failed repurposing proposals, now rests anchored off the Fraser River in Maple Ridge, its fate uncertain. Vancouver had every reason to celebrate. Expo 86 exceeded expectations, attracting approximately 50% more visitors than the predicted 13.7 million. Adding to the city's good fortune, Vancouver defied its rain-soaked reputation. Of the 172 days that Expo ran, 130 were dry. After the fair, developers eagerly bid for the Expo site. The lease for the 175-acre area was awarded to Concord Pacific, a development team based in Hong Kong. The site was divided into neighborhoods, each with its own distinct theme and architectural style. Under a 30-year urban housing plan, the transformation was set to be completed by 2016. Roughly 2/3 of the Expo site has already been developed into a mix of housing, retail spaces, and parkland. However, certain portions, such as the area near the Plaza of Nations, still remain under development as of today. Expo 86 left a lasting legacy in Vancouver. Several key structures from the fair were repurposed to benefit the city. Canada Place became a thriving cruise terminal and conference centre, fulfilling its intended role as a landmark on the Vancouver waterfront. BC Place Stadium became the home of the BC Lions and the Vancouver Whitecaps, and later hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2010 Winter Olympics. Expo Centre, with its iconic geodesic dome, was transformed into Science World, captivating and educating over 1 million visitors each year. Expo 86 also gave birth to the SkyTrain, which has continued to expand over the decades. The original line, renamed the Expo Line, was joined by the Millennium Line with its Evergreen extension, and the Canada Line, which connects the city to the airport. These legacy structures have significantly improved the city's accessibility for tourists and locals alike, reshaping the urban landscape and boosting Vancouver's appeal. In total, 22 million people attended Expo 86. Despite a deficit of $311 million, the event was widely regarded as a monumental success. It remains the second largest event in British Columbia's history and is seen by many as the turning point in Vancouver's evolution, from a city centered on forestry and mining to a globally recognized urban hub. Expo 86 helped to foster a vibrant tourism industry and laid the groundwork for Vancouver's emerging tech sector. The impact of Expo changed the city forever.
Something's happening. There's something in the air. The world is spinning. A heartbeat faster. Tomorrow's calling. Can't you hear it? To people everywhere, reaching out to you and me. The future's ours to share. ideas exploding, touching every moment, reaching all our lives. Together we can touch the sky, share our dreams and watch them fly, celebrate it. Something's happened here. And now the magic has begun. The promise of tomorrow's here for everyone. It was you. Can you see that the feeling's getting stronger? Reaching out, touching you, touching me. Set the world in motion. Together we can catch a rising star. We can touch tomorrow, discovering the wonder in our minds and in our hearts. Together we can touch the sky, you and I, share our dreams and watch them